The girls are making a lot of noise. Welcome back everyone to Copperline Rattler Ranch. I'm Julia. It has been maybe a month since we last posted a video. Sorry about that, but weather and life just kind of gets in the way sometimes. So we are going to give you a little update on the chicken run. It measures 120 feet long, 35 feet wide, so 4,200 square feet of space for our 14 birds. And we needed to put some, I can't reach it, bird netting on in this space because with them being a little more confined and not free ranging, they don't have the ability to find shelter in case they see predators from the sky coming at them. So this way, with the bird netting, they're protected, hopefully, from any aerial attacks, if you will. So there's fencing all the way around. It's just simple fencing, nothing fancy. We put these 3 nets, rather massive nets together on here, 1 net at a time, and then we used hog rings to join them together, and then hog rings to join them along the perimeter of the fence. So we'll take you on a little tour. So the additional pen that we took from Susan and Paul fell again. We didn't have it secured, and we just decided they're comfortable in the 1 pen with the 3 coops in there. We'll show you that again. This one is our original coop that Dawn and I had, and the 2 inside the pen are the ones that we got from Susan and Paul. Everybody is very happy. They all have their assigned seating. And there's plenty of shade underneath the coops in here when it gets to be super sunny. Plus we did put some shade cloth, not very dense, but some shade cloth that does help them. This part of the shade cloth here we're going to tent out a little bit so they have a little bit of a cover up there. It doesn't keep all the small birds out. You can see there's a couple of small birds in here, and that's fine. It's just the big predators that we want to keep out. So these poles are PVC. You see we have to paint a couple more. We have T-posts driven 3 feet in the ground. There's 4 feet above. They're 7-foot T-posts, and then these are just slipped on top. At the top, we put a cap, and then that's just like a little door stop that you could use, and that helps hold up the net without causing damage to it. So all the girls seem to be happy in here. Over by the wheelbarrow, we're going to be doing the last project for this area, and that's to put in a motion sensor light. And what that will do is help keep nighttime predators away because it'll sense the motion. And things like skunks that we've had trouble with in the past don't like those bright lights. So if they do manage to get in the pen, or they get close, to the run, or if they get close to the run, it'll turn on and it'll frighten them away. So that will be a good thing. It'll also kind of keep any coyotes from trying to get in here as well. So that's that. So we'll show you how we're going to do the light pole. We've got it all ready to go. We've got a hole dug in the ground. We're going to concrete it in and then put a gabion around it to help support it. That will also give a little bit of support to the net. You can see that the net is not necessarily people high everywhere you go, just down the center where we might need to work a little bit. But the net isn't for our protection, it's for the bird protection. So when we're in here, we just, duck or run your head along the top, and that's that. So it's not very high. In fact, I'm going to bump my head now. But the birds are all happy, even the wild birds. So, as I said, welcome back to Copperline Rattler Ranch. Sorry we were gone so long. But this is the new run. We've got the gabion finished. You can see right there for the light. So this is a motion sensor light, one on each side. So if anything comes in here or makes it that far, the light will frighten off any predators that might get in the run. The birds put themselves to bed at night in the coops, in the 3 coops, and then we close those and close the pen at night. So that's another barrier for predators. So that's the last thing we were going to do. We do have to paint some of these supports. And like I said, there are T-posts. Those are just Schedule 40 PVC pipe. And that we've painted. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more to paint white. And those are just holding it up so that we can manage to get in through here. But like I said, this is primarily for the safety and protection of the birds. So that is it, just a little painting. Oh, and something, I don't know if I told you, something that Susan told me when we got the birds was these little car air fresheners. If you get the vanilla fragrance, has to be vanilla. It doesn't have to be this shape, but just has to be the vanilla fragrance. Put it on your pen, this is one that's been beaten around by the wind. This I put up yesterday, put several up, I think 6. Crows can't get in. It helps to keep the flies away. She swore by it, so we're trying that this year. I've had trouble with flies around the chickens because, you know, they got stinky poop. But, oops. This is the netting. You can see me wiggling it here a little bit. It's catching on my hat. I got a button on top of my ball cap and it's catching on that. Gabion is done. The post is concreted in at the bottom. And then just the wire, the welded wire, that is, I think, 1x4, 2x4. And then 2 lights, one on each side, one facing south, one facing north. Also, when we come in here, if we come in here at night too, or when we're shutting all the coops and the pen up, it helps to be able to see out here when we're doing that. But everybody seems very happy. We've got a lot of distance. I know my birds were a little upset when we first started confining them, but they've got a huge amount of space. And we just didn't want them free-ranging too much because of the predators. And there's Rooster. Hi, ladies. Hanging out in the shade. So they're better protected in here. And that's that. We'll have to do an introduction. So if you've been following us, you know that we lost Loki to some poison. And we've been wanting to replace him with a pair of dogs. So we went to PACC in Tucson. And they were having an event, and we got these 2 brothers. Hi, this one's Boris, looking at you right now. And his brother in the red harness is Sammy, under there in the shade. Hi, Boris. They are boxer mix, about 2.5 years old. They've been together since they were litter mates, I believe. And so far, so good. We do keep them confined when we're not going to be out here. But we come out and walk them frequently. They're learning the property. They're doing very well with, hi Sammy, with, don't know if you can see them in there. They're doing very well with training. They come back immediately when we call them if they wander off too far when we're out here with them. And they're very content. So there you go. And back to the netting. So 4,200 square feet, took 3 huge bird nets. We probably could have gotten one gigantic one, but it would have been a lot more expensive. Anything that we had that was too much to overhang on the sides, we rolled up and used that hog ring stapler and just stapled them to the fencing that we put up. Seems to be working. And then, like I said, we hog ringed, if that's the right term, the nets together, and it's holding up just fine every square. The pecan tree, we will let it grow through And when we see any kind of restrictions on the tree, we'll probably start cutting the net a little bit. And if and when we do that, we'll secure this. I don't know if you can see it, that wire fencing we have around the bottom. We'll secure the net to that, maybe gaby on it a little bit. You see some of the little birds hanging out on the net. But it goes quite a ways back there. All the way around, the net is secured. And the birds seem to be happy. So thank you for joining us on our little venture here with the chicken run, putting the netting up. It was really kind of boring putting all this up because it was just a lot of tedious work. And the wind was just outrageous for quite a while. So it did take us quite a while to get the netting put up because of that. It blows like it would blow if it were a tarp. And of course the net catches all the sticks and the tumbleweeds that roll around while we were putting it up. So it was a bit of a struggle, but it's done now. And we're going to get moving on the house really soon. Well, thank you again for joining us, or rejoining us. I know it's been about a month since we last posted a video. Just like I said, the weather this March, usually March is a pretty windy month for us here, but this year it's just been one horrendous windy storm after another, with sustained winds in the 20s and 30s and gusts 40s and 50s. It's just been outrageous. I know the rest of the country is going through some unusual weather patterns as well. A lot of craziness for the rest of the country too, and I feel for everyone who's been impacted by the tornadoes or the terrible snowstorms that have been blowing through. And of course, for everyone in Ukraine, our hearts go out to them as well. But we're done with that chicken run. Just a couple of poles, I think 4 poles, support poles to paint. That will be no big deal. And we're going to get back on this house pretty soon. Thanks again. We do appreciate you coming by to see how we're doing. Remember to like this video, share it, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.